Nowadays, life is intertwined with technology. Let's figure it out. Welcome to Life, Tech, and Sundry. Previously on Life, Tech, and Sundry.
Which basically incentivize you to not go to work. I mean, you're getting more money staying at home doing nothing.
And being safe.
Yeah, well, okay, being safe because no one knew the outcome or how dreadful the virus is.
And now, back to the show. And they're still finding out a lot of things.
Right. And it's I guess you can say it's terrible that people have to go through a situation like that where it's I don't want to work and they're paying me to not go to work. I'd rather take that option. I think that's a good option.
It's a safe option. And
Right.
I don't blame them. I
Now,
respect that choice.
I think the disconnect here is when you're placed in that situation and you start thinking to yourself, all right, so now what am I going to do with the extra cash? If you're savvy and smart about it, you'll say, hey, let me pay off this debt that I have, whether it be credit card debt, home loan debt, a car payment that you haven't done, cell phone bill, the Con Ed bill, your utilities, rent. So there's a lot of things that you can do with that money. But if you go along and squander the money, it's basically pointless. There's no point in you making that or obtaining that extra money if you're not going to do something that's going to benefit you. And then, unfortunately, we as a society in the United States, not everyone, but a large majority are consumers. This is a consumer-based country where we don't produce anything and then we expect to...
Except for the military,
Well, but that's all funded by government, by taxes that we pay.
True. I'm just saying. I mean,
When I mean produce,
unfortunately,
but when I mean produce, it's like
unfortunately, yeah.
we don't have people producing anything new. I mean, again, to not to say that no one works. We have people making all types of apps, and you can say that's an electronic or
Digital,
a digital mobile
medium. There you go.
Right, medium that we can benefit from, and a lot of people see that as beneficial. And just to name a few things right now that a lot of people around the world use that were created here in the United States, as far as I know, Microsoft, Apple. What else? Google.
Android.
That's Google, isn't it?
Before it was its own thing, and then
It was bought up. It was acquired.
Incorporated by Google. Yeah.
It was acquired by Google.
Yeah.
But again, name a couple of apps that
Macintosh itself, the computers,
right,
which are Apple.
right? But are now
Tesla.
right. But now think about it. What apps on your phone that were made in the United States that people use? Microsoft made Skype, right? Or was
Microsoft
it? No, actually, I think Skype was actually made somewhere else.
Zoom is Taiwan. That's for sure. Zoom.
I'm talking about, I guess you can say, the major apps, not that were acquired by
Facebook, like that one.
Facebook was born and raised
In the U.S.
in the U.S.
What about
Instagram, right?
TikTok, you already know it's Chinese.
It's Chinese, but I'm talking about solely the major players that are.
WhatsApp is what? Chinese? No.
WhatsApp is owned by Facebook.
Yeah, but okay. There used to be another
and they
one
were
called,
acquired by Facebook.
Yeah, and there's also another one that I don't know if it's around anymore called what's the name of that thing that the submarines use to look up under
Telescope?
No, Periscope.
Periscope? Oh, Periscope.
Yeah.
Okay, the app Periscope?
Yeah, Periscope, Vines. What's this other one called? The banking apps.
No, well, okay. To your point, yes. But what I'm saying is like the bigger player, those essential type what we would consider essential type of apps or services that that were created in the U.S. and now distributed around the world. And I'll name a few things like Facebook, things like Instagram, things like Netflix,
Hulu,
things like Hulu.
HBO.
Right? No, but let me finish.
Okay.
All right. Things like Netflix, things like YouTube. These are all platforms that were made and created in the US. And a lot of people around the world use these services. And my point is that these are the type of services that I'm not saying that they wouldn't be able to get funding or be created anywhere else around the world, but it just goes to show you the ingenuity and the actual permission and I guess you can say the way of thinking and the way of doing business in America, where it gets facilitated in such a way people are incentivized to grow these type of businesses and create these type of technologies and platforms in order for us as consumers to enjoy some sort of service. And what's crazy is that not only do we benefit as a consumer, but then the companies grow like enormously large because they're not only a hit in the US, but they're a hit around the world. And just to, I guess, naming those companies, comparing to other companies that were made anywhere else around the world, it just doesn't do the same amount of business. I think the only ones that I can name off the top of my head that were not created in the US that made waves in recent times were things like Spotify, were things like TikTok. But other than those two, I don't really recognize or know any other apps or services that have made major waves in the US, like US companies and apps and services have made waves around the world.
I mean, and they're constantly changing, and I 100% agree. But the goods and services digitally normally acquire is entertainment, and that's a service within itself. And
Right. Yeah. No, entertainment is a big thing. And again, my point is that in the US, there's an incentive for people to create these type of entertainment or services in such a degree that people are pumping these types of apps. You have people that are creating apps in their dorm rooms, just like a Facebook or something like that. And a lot of the backstories of these, big international companies like an Apple, like a Amazon, were all started in people's,
you already know Mac in the 80s why the what was his name for the creator of Apple,
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. He used to be a Dell worker, and he was dissatisfied with certain services that it provided because he knew people.
But that's more likes and dislikes in competition. What I'm getting
But
at,
he was in a position that he knew how to provide a better service.
right. What I'm getting at is their actual story behind how it started. They all started in their garages or in their dorm rooms, which goes to show you that people are incentivized or people have that dream. And at least, and please correct me if I'm wrong, not that I'm saying that other places around the world don't do the same thing, but over here, it's a little different where you have an idea, you're able to grow your idea, and there isn't I guess you can say a wall that's going to detain you from actually obtaining that goal that you have in mind. And just to remind you, people like Jeff Bezos with Amazon, he started in his garage
selling books, reselling used books. Yeah.
And fast forward a couple of years,
and this was like late 90s.
Right. He's a billionaire.
I think number two or number
he's either one or two.
and has his own space program. A space program.
Right. So again, not that I'm saying that people around the world don't have that, I guess you can say, same situation going on where they have those big dreams, lofty dreams. Yeah, they do. But there's something, there has to be something, or there's something to be said about the US where it actually nourishes that type of mentality. And it pushes people to actually dream big and dream bigger and try to obtain that goal that they've set out for themselves. And I think that's a great place to be in, where you can actually develop something, monetize it, and grow it in such a way that maybe in a couple of years, you'll be the next Tesla, you'll be the next Apple, you'll be the next Amazon. And that's great. Why?
That's life and technology right there.
Because what do they have to do? They have to compete. Companies compete. That's capitalism in a nutshell.
That's life in a nutshell.
But more so, they're competing for their service to be in front of you in order to make your life easier. That's how you intertwine a lot of this technology stuff into your life. I mean, when I was growing up, a smartphone wasn't around. When I was in middle school,
it was TV. TV was the thing that got their marketing
again,
or radio.
No. What I'm talking about is things that you would consider essential now.
Oh, a smartphone.
Right.
Yeah.
A smartphone now, if you leave your house without a smartphone, you feel like you're missing your arm or your leg. Yeah. You feel totally naked. You feel like there's something missing, and you're just you can't function without that piece of technology in your pocket.
A piece of plastic or sand. It's sand. it's
right.
Silicon, metal. It's
nowadays,
glass.
Nowadays, you think about it that way, but for the people that are older and didn't grow up or didn't have a cell phone or smartphone in their pocket, it begs the question, or you ask that question. So how the heck did you communicate with other people when you need to call someone?
Letters. I still did that in middle school, not in this country.
But more so, like if you wanted to make a call.
Public, or I haven't seen street phones.
Public phone.
Public, they're gone. There's been movies about that.
If you were in school, you would have to go to the
principal's office. Yeah.
Right, the office. And use the phone that was there.
Put in a quarter.
Well, not even a quarter. Or you had the actual physical buttons that you had to dial in order for you to place a call. You had to memorize a number. There was no.
I still remember my old phone number back in the late 2000s, late 90s, and my mom wrote on our backpacks and told us, memorize this phone number and your address.
Right.
Just in case if you get lost, this is my phone number. This is where I live.
Right.
This is my name.
The quality of life advancements and
there's a beauty to that I feel like it's been substituted with something else, but the nostalgia of it, it's just very, very
nice. It brings you back. But I mean, the quality of life and those advancements have perpetuated or helped grow the need or the perception of needing a GPS, needing a cell phone.
Just to elaborate with that GPS thing,
right?
The first time that I did a road trip with my parents to the south of the border from New York, we used
the Carolinas.
No, we went to Mexico.
Oh, did you?
Well, the first time we went to Mexico, we got a map to the nearest gas station. Every gas station we stopped, we would update. Okay, how's our map? Is it the correct one? And we reroute our map. While our truck was filling up. That's how we got to Mexico in a week, all the way down south to Puebla.
Oh, a week?
In a week? No, in 3 days.
There you go. I was gonna say
in 3 days.
That's quite a while. A week.
In 3 days in the truck, it's beautiful, but it's just something unnerving. Like, how did we do that?
Yeah, no, definitely, I understand. And we did the same thing. The first couple of times we went down to Mexico, driving from New York down to Mexico, we had a physical paper map.
My dad would put it on the trunk, and there was a beauty to it. Like, okay, we're here. We are here 100%. And he would elaborate with the gas guy, or with the guy that was in the pumps in the gas station. Where are we? You're here. Okay, so we're here on this road. Okay, which way do we have to go? And like 5 different maps, and then at the end of the trip, throw it away because we don't need that anymore. Oh, wait, we got to go backwards.
Yeah, no, I definitely I understand 100%. And there's a beauty to that. There,
I didn't finish something
yeah,
else.
go
Sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
Recently I was also looking how to use an azimuth and how to the military style,
Okay.
how to plot your coordinates. There's a beauty to that on its own. that
Please enlighten me. What was that word?
azimuth, like
Azimuth. Okay.
it's a military map that shows that's blank like a regular map, which has like the coordinate lines that like a grid, right?
Right.
But on the bottom right, besides having your directional map, which is north, south, east, west,
Okay.
there's also like an angle that compensates for the curvature of the Earth,
All
and
right.
tells you how many degrees you have to compensate every time you look at north.
Okay.
Like if because you know how the map is a square, it's on a piece of paper, and
Okay.
it
Yes.
generally tries to tell you that north is on the top of the page, and it tells you that with how do you call that, the compass directional compass on the bottom,
Okay.
but it also tells you on the right, like this is how it's north compared to magnetic north, and how much of an offset it is on that specific map.
Interesting. Okay.
This map was normally they would do that on the 60s during Vietnam, during
Sure.
World War II and World War One, and before that with the Romans. This technology has been around since the Romans.
Oh wow.
So they would use the map, Polaris, the Northern Star, with a compass that didn't have any batteries. That would have a like
Magnet.
a compass that would have like a clock, like a,
Okay.
and it would have a line and a ruler,
Okay.
and you would look straight through it. Use the Northern Star to guide yourself and see how off you are within that map and properly plot your coordinates. And
Wow.
if you were at night and you were with a group of soldiers, you would use one of the soldiers to go up out and like into a distance. Use him, locate him with Polaris, and see how much of an offset you were doing that. You would have to do that at night without sleep and backwards. You know how to backward trace yourselves and forward trace yourself,
Okay.
or mark coordinates or targeting for mortars and all those things. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a beauty to that people needed to know, that military
Yeah.
people, those were officers or scouts that needed to plot all that. We take that for granted with GPS that does it in seconds.
Right. Instantly.
Seconds.
It coordinates. It reroutes.
It plots.
Yeah.
It marks friendlies or non-friendlies in the military sense, but in our sense, as a family,
it
when
reroutes you.
When I was in college, there was only one time that we bought a TomTom GPS navigator.
Okay, something for your dashboard.
But
Right.
we only used it once.
Why?
Because we were in that transition that we used a map to
Okay.
go to Queens, specifically to my college by LaGuardia.
Sure.
It was Vaughn College, and all the way to over here where we live in White Plains. But it took us. We did it once, because before that we went to Mexico. We were like, oh, we know where we're going, and we felt comfortable. Oh, okay, now we can go backwards.
Right. Right.
That's like something human nature, that we have to get an idea of which way we're going,
right.
and that we wouldn't get lost. We'd go backwards. I'm like, we don't need TomTom. We literally had that in the car in case if we wanted to go somewhere else.
Okay.
And then Google Maps came around. I was the one that pushed Google Maps. Like,
In your household.
in the household, like we printed out the papers, and this is okay. We go here, we go here, we go here.
Okay.
We didn't use TomTom, so who cares about TomTom?
Yo, get rid of TomTom.
And then like, okay, we
Right.
can use Google Maps with the smartphone, with the iPhone,
Right.
or the iPhone 5 or the Samsung Galaxy S4. Okay, let's use that. Okay, there's traffic. There was that up-to-date traffic information that couldn't be beat. Like, oh, we need to avoid this exit that we always took because
Okay.
there's an hour delay.
Oh wow.
GPS
Okay.
tells us that. Okay, let's avoid that.
Right.
And we would constantly make our
Adjustments.
adjustments on the fly, and would get earlier and can live a more comfortable life, because we don't have to leave 3 hours early because we don't know what's the unknown in between. We could go at an exact time.
Right.
Train timing is something else. Bus route times.
Oh. Okay.
We take that all for granted, but technology has given us that freedom of being able to whatever knowledge we had to use, it's still available. We could still do that. It practice.
Right. It simplified all
Yes.
the heartaches
But we, and I don't want to say as a species,
and headaches. Right.
it gives us that headroom, that freedom to create something more.
Yeah, definitely. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, no. I guess the transition from that, again, the example here would be a paper map compared to a GPS. I mean, we take for granted what we have now. But yeah, you can say we've lived through that transition of going from having a dumb phone to actually having a cell phone, right?
Yes.
And then using a paper map to using a proprietary
printed paper,
right, or
with directions,
right, or a proprietary GPS that for your dashboard on your in your car, to now moving and going along with the hiccups that the early GPS on your phone would reroute you to a place you didn't want to go, and
Yeah.
that the slight advantages of having it now compared to what you used to have in the past, and you don't have to get lost as often, and using your phone. And I guess just a piece of information that I could share with everyone is that at some point when we were driving, my family and I were driving down to Mexico in the early days, and I think I shared this with you guys in another podcast. I had a dumb phone, I guess you can call it, when cell phones were recently coming out, and I think it was still a Nextel phone back in the day. Yeah. So the
Nextel.
GPS, the GPS back in that time wasn't the best, and trying to use it was very not difficult. It was just really just all new to me, and I didn't understand or didn't know that it would reroute, and sometimes the information that the GPS was picking up on would reroute us to a place that we weren't, or we didn't need to go. It would make the actual trip a little longer because it thought that there was, there wasn't a road where there was a road, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And but I mean, technology has incrementally gotten better, and it's helping us a lot more. And for that reason, I'm pretty content now with where it's at, and it's a lot more usable. And it's something that, you need a quick direction. I don't know how to get there. Don't worry. You can either
Google Maps got
right,
this.
just GPS it, or I'll send you the link.
Brand, the marketing with Google,
What do you mean?
the services that it provides.
Right, Google services.
Google Maps.
It's an all-encompassing. Sorry, I'm fumbling my words now.
It's okay.
All-encompassing services that they have, where not only do you have Google Maps, you have Gmail, you have Google Maps, you have
A search.
Google
services,
search engine,
a search engine. There you go.
right? And you have another so
An
many other
entertainment platform.
Google Play, Google Music,
Google Movies and YouTube.
right? So all these betterments, or all these I guess you could say elements to Google have pushed it to being one of those top companies, top competitors on providing a service, and not only a service, a high quality service, where other companies have to compete by making their services the same, if not better. And this competition drives just a better quality of life,
As a
options
customer.
as customers, options for us
Yes.
to use, which that's great.
As a customer, you
Yeah.
best know that we get
One of the things that
we get to choose.
right, the thing that people sometimes take for granted is competition. Competition is what drives companies to make not only physical products, but apps and entertainment.
better anime even.
But yeah, and we'll get to that section in just a few moments,
Hopefully with Mr. J.
right? And services, or better services for us to enjoy and use and share with other people. And really, it just propels us to again, in some way, shape, and form, make us lazier. Yes, but if you're able to to be a little bit more disciplined, you're able to use these benefits.
This free time to make something better, to iterate. And iteration means it's a next level to the current system.
Right, but I guess to your point, where you're saying that it allows us to save time in order for us to do other things that
Yes.
we might find more important to do.
Yes.
And I think that's great. I think that's a wonderful thing. And I think it's something that we sometimes as individuals, especially nowadays, we take for granted. And at least for me, I do enjoy the competition. Not every competition is a bad competition. I mean, as far as I can tell, competition drives growth. Competition helps with developing better components, better technologies, better uses for the things that we have and potentially might have in the future. And I think more than anything else, we can always share the things that we had in our past, the hardships of not having these tools and technologies at our disposal when we were younger, and now comparing the things now in in today current situation, where if the pandemic had happened 19 years ago, 20 years ago, it would be, at least for me, I don't think we would be able to.
Hi there, Marcos here. I'm just interrupting again the podcast because I want to let all you listeners know that there is a link in the show notes for you to leave a voice message. I'll be as proactive as I can. I'll get to them as quickly as possible and answer them in the show or put them as a subject in the podcast. Once again, there is a link in the show notes of this podcast for all you listeners to leave a message. Thank you for your time, and back to the show.
Not that we wouldn't be able to survive, but it would be such
a totally different story.
It would be a different scenario, different situation where people would probably be going out their minds. But at the same time, maybe they wouldn't, because they didn't know what a cell phone was, what a smartphone was, and didn't have services like Facebook, didn't have services that were provided by Google or Twitter.
Or Google, yeah.
Yeah. Life would have been simpler.
It still would have, though.
But again, it just, us as individuals that lived through that can contemplate now about those things. And you can say reminisce.
I was going to say that.
But you contemplate about the things and just see how much better off we are now than when we were living through those hardships in the past. And I think it's a great thing. The competition thing is a great thing for companies and us as consumers. And maybe for our listeners, maybe our podcast today has been a little bit everywhere, a little bit all over the place.
It's definitely been scattered minded, but it's not that it's not like our point wasn't given. I feel like each point that we used elaborated on what we wanted to explain.
Right, and I guess more than anything else, and we shared this at the beginning of the podcast. Essentially, our podcast is basically a continuation or an extension of our regular talk that we just
train of thought.
Yeah, more than anything else is just our conversation, an extension of our conversation that we usually have even when the mics are off. This is usually how we talk. There's no real rhyme or reason. Sometimes
be memeing on each other.
Yeah, and there's no rhyme or reason of our conversation. They're just subjects and topics that we come up with and just like to share with each other. And again,
try to learn.
Right. And there's things that maybe during the week we pick up on, whether it be economy, whether it be food, whether it be an anime. So anything in between. And obviously, it all has to do with, not all of it, but a lot has to do with our life tech and sundry.
Our brand. I feel like our brand fits to what we live as the way that we feel like.
Yeah, it molds.
It molds. There you go.
It molds to our our needs and the things that we like to talk about. And again, we appreciate you guys listening to our conversation, our convo, and we hope that you can be part of it by, leaving a comment or leaving comments or suggestions in the show notes in the comment section, clicking those links and watching us up on YouTube. Again, not professional, please. Don't
You best be knowing that we're spunky and having.
don't beat us up too hard in the comment section. YouTube.
I'd say beat us up because I feel like that's the competition. The competition is going to make us stronger, and it's going to make them stronger because it's going to make them more. Even though toxic, it's going to make them more. Think about what they're going to say because they want to be toxic, whoever it may be. But it's going to help us take it as a positive. Always be a positive individual.
Yeah, I don't share my cousin's point of view too much right now. But I mean, undoubtedly, we're going to have to, understand that there are people who are going to act toxic. Like there's going to be people that are going to be positive. I know that for a fact. But to be quite honest, all I'm asking is that be patient with us and, enjoy the ride for what it is.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. I mean, we're trying to share with you guys, and again, we have no ill will against anyone. We're just trying to share what we know or what little we know with you guys and, the topics that we come up with. Again, we're not in competition with anyone. I think, at least for me, I speak for myself. I'm not in competition with anyone. I just want to share the, cool stuff with you guys, cool ideas and topics, and talk to the people that I talk to in this podcast, just because these are the things we usually talk about, even when the mics are off. And if you guys want to share with us those same type of views or topics and you want to, be part of this community, I'm totally for it. It's great. I enjoy it. Again, I think we can shift gears now and talk about anime now.
This is the Anime Zone.
Yeah. Anime Corner, a segment in our podcast where we dedicate a little time to our anime,
our nearest and dearest anime.
Our anime,
us weebs over here.
I wouldn't go that far. Just, our, how can I put this eloquently? Not, our like.
What are you talking about?
Our like for anime.
I'm going to admit it. I'm a full weep.
Or our desire to share our interest in anime with not only between ourselves, but with the people that are listening. And we like to say thank you guys again for sticking with us until the end. This is our Anime Corner or anime. What did you call
anime it? Segment, Anime Zone. But I think that's a YouTube channel.
Is it? Well,
I don't know.
I guess we're going to have to switch it up and call it something else. Guys, if you have any suggestions for our anime segment, please leave those in the comment sections for us.
And we'll promptly
show notes.
ignore it. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Come on.
No.
But definitely let us know what you think we should call it. And we'll definitely we'll decide in a future episode, and we'll shout out the person that came up with the best idea or the best name. And
hold up, I think we should intro it with a nice little song.
Okay. Go for it, Marcos.
And that's the beginning of the anime segment.
All right, guys, let us know if that sounded horrible or you liked it. Or should we switch it up? But again, thanks again for listening to us until the end. This is our anime segment. And Marcos and I are going to basically, I guess you can say, dabble in.
Talk about anime. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Talk about anime.
Talk about what we watched, what we didn't watch, what we want to watch, and anything that pertains to anime, manga, or anything like that. So, Marcos, let me ask you a quick question so we can start. Is there any anime that you've seen or want to see or finished or caught up to?
Well, like I previously said, life's been kind of busy, and I've been getting into editing and doing my other thing, personal life. So I didn't get into anime that much until today, literally today, and maybe last night. I was watching
I know it's a corny and not that good of a show, but Demon Lord Retry. I wanted to
Okay.
see if there was a continuation after what I left off when it was dubbed, but it isn't. It isn't.
Oh, really?
And
Why is that?
I'm a fan. I know I'm a filthy weeb that doesn't appreciate the sub, but I like dub, because it's something less to read.
Right,
and I
right.
thought there would have been a continuation to this show, but there isn't, and that was sad. But I still rewatched it.
Okay, okay. And is there anything that you are, I guess you can say, looking forward to watching or reading manga? I don't know.
Into more trying to get with the classics again. I need to go into The Great Teacher Onizuka.
Okay.
It's still I can't finish watching an episode and almost wanting to cry because it gives me so many more life lessons.
You get emotional with that one?
Yes, I don't know if Alan sees it and I'm out like, oh no, I'm trying to sweat like no.
And again, me personally, I haven't seen it. I
And
haven't
that's
seen
okay.
GTO. I think I'm in the same situation as you. I'm quite busy at the moment. There's a couple, or not a couple, there's quite a few things that I'm trying to do.
You're the stacking, man. You're the stacking. I learned this from you.
Yes. And there's a lot of stacking that I've been doing. But recently, I had a couple of a couple of hours
Yeah.
in the day last week where I was able to actually watch some anime, and I finally caught up to Food Wars,
That's-
Shokugeki no Soma.
Anime with food and us liking food.
Right.
You already know that's like a match made in heaven.
Right. And I do believe this is the fourth plate or the fourth season.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the last season, I think this is the last season.
All the viewers, I am shocked. I am shook.
Well, recently, if I'm not mistaken, on Twitter, the creator of Shokugeki no Soma basically let everyone know that the manga was wrapping up and he was going to end it. And that's something that I'm like, wow, okay, he finished. That's great. That's great news. I'm sad on the inside because I know that there's a lot more story that I would have liked to see get animated. But we'll see how long or how far, if there's going to be any movie or OVA that might be presented. Another anime that I've caught up to
Yes.
was, let's see, which one was it? If I can remember, I think it was called the Demon Lord Misfit,
The Misfit
or the Misfit Demon Lord.
and Demon Lord Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've caught up to that one.
Okay.
And those are the two that I've caught up, and I finished rewatching. I think I told you in the podcast in the earlier episode that I had bought in the digital seasons from the Microsoft store because they were on sale
What
of
was it?
High School DxD.
There we go. Yeah.
And I finished rewatching all 4 seasons of High School DxD.
Okay. That's good.
And
Gotta be faithful. Gotta go into your books of study. I know I am. You already know. There's no shame here.
And I think there's a few more animes obviously that I've let stack.
God of High School.
I actually I don't want to say I'm caught up fully, but I think I'm on episode 5 if I'm not mistaken, or episode 7.
Yeah, I think there's 9 episodes.
Really? Okay.
So you're way up there.
Yeah, I'm almost caught up. But another show that I want to start watching now is Snafu. My teen romantic
Yeah.
romantic comedy. And also the Sword Art Online and Fire Force. Those are
Fire.
right. Those are the 3 animes that I want to start watching. Maybe an episode a day, so I don't fully catch up, but I can actually
I
watch
understand that
something.
feeling. Yeah.
And because I think the season is not pretty much over, but it's getting to that that place or that spot in the season where they're pretty much ending, and we're looking forward to the what is it, the fall season or the
Winter? Is
Winter
it only
season?
divided in two or all four?
I think
Spring.
I think it's 4.
so it's winter for 2020. It's winter, spring, summer,
Yeah. And
fall.
I think this is the end of summer summer season, and we're entering the fall season, and then we'll have the winter season.
Because winter's for 2020, 2021, right?
Right,
Yeah.
the end part of the year and the beginning of next year. So hopefully I can start catching up on a lot of these seasons of anime, or these
Series.
series of animes while the new season is about to start. And by the time I do that, or I catch up and finish them,
Yeah.
I have a bunch of new anime that I could potentially stack and watch.
You know what I'm craving right now since it's September as an anime
Yes.
connoisseur?
Okay, yes.
Remember High School of the Dead?
Yeah.
2010, 2011. I
Right,
think?
right.
I'm craving something like that, like zombie, Halloweeny,
Interesting.
anime turned into an anime, and ecchi.
Okay. Yeah. No.
I'm
quick
craving
question.
that Halloween
Have
kinda
you
theme.
bought anything like that? Like, say, if you bought in like a DVD set or a Blu-ray set.
No, I feel like I should though
I
to support the.
I have the Well, unfortunately, I don't know if many people know about this. I do remember that the creator of High School of the Dead had passed away. I think maybe
I thought he stopped.
a year, 2 years ago, maybe, if not more. But I do remember reading a tweet. I just don't remember if it was like a year ago, 2 years ago, that he unfortunately passed away. And yeah,
Damn.
the High School of the Dead was left on a cliffhanger.
Even in the manga,
I think in the manga. I'm not sure.
because the anime, it finished on the beach episode, and that wasn't even a closure.
Right, and that was it. I mean, again, a lot of people really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I did purchase the digital version of it.
Oh,
So I have it, and I haven't watched
Imagine
it.
you
I
in
haven't
your room
rewatched it.
with your TV and locking your door.
I haven't rewatched it. I usually don't lock my door for.
No, High School Dixon. No, your mom or your dad. No, mom, I swear, no, it's not what it looks like.
I mean, for those people that live with their parents, I mean, I feel for you
Or your
guys.
roommates.
Or, I mean, maybe your roommates like to, get a bag of popcorn and join you and watch.
That's the cultured
Anime.
roommate.
I
That's,
guess.
I feel like that would be the best case scenario.
Yeah, like just an example, maybe for another teammate, Josue, Mr. J. He right now he's stuck in his dorm room, and as soon as he's done with his project or his homework, whatever the case
Quote unquote.
is, in college,
He's working on that project.
he's probably finishing up a couple of episodes of High School of the Dead. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. But for the people that live with their parents or feel a little bit shy about
With the roommates.
or not watching, please don't worry about it. We won't we don't shame anyone here. If you lock your door,
It's appreciated. Some people would appreciate that
Yeah,
because you have your own
do what you need to do.
Do you, boo? Do you, boo? You do you, boo.
Do what you need to do. Get your anime fix, and keep
Keep on rolling.
What do you keep? What's your mantra, Marcos? Stay frosty.
Yes, stay frosty.
Yeah, yo, keep doing what you do best, everyone, and watch anime.
We're not pushing this to say like, oh, anime is life. No, I mean, this is our thoughts, and I feel like anyone that appreciates anime,
More
Tip of the
power
hat.
to you.
tip of the hat.
Right.
As a fellow
Anime connoisseur.
But yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. I mean, I guess in our listeners probably have had that situation go on where they've seen maybe YouTube episodes or shows where people comment about the type of anime that they watch when they're at least back maybe a year ago when public transportation was still a thing.
Aww.
Where people would watch anime while they were on the
Damn.
train or on the bus, and they would have to hide their phone or hide the image, like, because it was borderline like It was etchy, but it was borderline, half
Police,
naked people
police.
on your screen.
With high school DxD, just
Right.
with that one.
Again, if you had the uncut or uncensored version, I mean, there was nothing left to the imagination. You could see.
Police.
It's like, yeah, people would feel a type of way, and I totally get it. If there's a concern for you watching that stuff, then by all means, watch it at home. If you have the audacity to actually watch it in public, I mean, more power to you. I mean,
yeah.
Again, to your point, Mr. Marcos, tip of the hat.
Tip of the hat, tip of the beanie, tip of any kind of headwear that you're wearing.
Right? I mean, I'm not gonna judge. But again, please be careful. You don't want to be caught with your hands down your pants while you're watching anime.
Or your hands on your phone while on full on speaker, and like you hear the moans of the anime character, which shouldn't matter. But there's a lot of people that they start doing like what's this there?
I don't know what that is, but
like oh be gone, demon, be gone.
right. I mean, all I would say to that is, please be careful. Be considerate for people around you.
This is when public transportation was, I'm just reminiscing about the
Right.
olden days.
Right. But again, me personally, when I watch anime, again, because I'm a stacker and I like to watch anime while I eat food, I'll go order something or cook something at home, sit myself down, get myself comfortable, nice drink, nice food, big
Imagine
TV.
You're like, oh, almost spitting, doing a spit take while drinking. Like, oh no.
Big TV, and nice little sound bar. Turn everything on and enjoy some anime and enjoy some good food while doing it. And
Hell to the
yeah.
Hell to the yeah.
yeah, and definitely that's how I consume my content. As far as manga goes, to be perfectly honest, I mean, I think the only manga I have is the Food Wars manga. And I do have a couple of issues, or not issues, but a couple of
Complaints?
no, of
Volume.
volumes. There you go. Wow,
I didn't know.
I forgot. A couple of volumes of different manga, like Sword Art Online, and what else?
Respect.
High School DxD, and I
Again, respect.
think, and what's the other one? I have a limited edition, gold foiled, hard covered manga of Kill la Kill,
That's not bad. Oh,
and it came in one of my omakase boxes when that used to actually exist. I think it was from Viewster, and they used to have a subscription box.
you know who else? Now that you said all those things about High School of the Dead, you know
Yeah.
who else I found out also passed away?
Who?
The animating team for Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
The whole team?
Not the whole team. Like
Oh, man.
the writer
Really?
and some of the animators. They passed away on the Kyoto fire incident.
Oh, wow.
They created that style but they did a good example of what they learned. So unfortunately, we won't be seeing that style by those hands again because they
Wow,
passed
yeah.
away, which is a sad thing,
It is sad, it is sad,
in
yeah.
July.
Right. Yeah.
In July, they did a year because this happened in 2019.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Now, it is sad stuff when, a creator of that magnitude, And again,
Life
Right.
gets
And not-
snuffed out.
yeah, and, again, I don't like to place someone above another. Creators are creators, and they work hard to bring joy and entertainment to other people. And, the loss of life is, sad. And we like to appreciate them and honor them and remember them and celebrate them through their work that they've done. And of course, that's why we watch what we watch.
Yeah.
And we get to enjoy their work even after they're gone. So that's something that we like to keep in mind. But again, on a lighter note,
Yeah.
besides those animes, the ones I'm looking forward to watching, again, I mentioned them before: SAO, Fire Force, and
Food Wars.
yeah, and My Teen Romantic Comedy.
Oh, yes. Never.
And another one that my brother was actually telling me about not because he watched it, but because when I turned on the TV and I had the Crunchyroll app on, I think the banner is Rent a Girlfriend, and
No.
and I'm probably gonna start watching it. I don't know if it's any good.
I
But-
don't. I Josue told us. Mr. J told us, I think, but
I vaguely remember him saying that at first.
I feel like I didn't pay attention. Damn it.
No, but I do vaguely remember him saying that at first, that he read the manga and he said
Oh
that,
yeah, the man. Yeah, yep.
and he said that it wasn't as good as he thought, and that if it was gonna be I think, please, Josue, correct me if I'm wrong.
We'll review the podcast.
Right.
Right. You best know. I'm gonna re-listen it.
And Mr. J, Josue, if you want to correct me if I'm wrong, please go ahead. But he said that he didn't find the manga enjoyable enough to actually be made into an anime. So when the anime actually aired, when it dropped and it aired on TV, he I think changed his tune a little bit and said, yeah, it wasn't as good, but I give it a 7. And I think I said, wow, that's pretty high.
7 is still good. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty high valuation of the anime when he actually told us that the manga wasn't as good. Again, I would have to see it to say I
To give
enjoyed it
your
or not.
own-
Yeah, to give my opinion.
Yes.
But definitely, I think maybe after the podcast, I'm gonna go enjoy myself an episode or two of that Rent a Girlfriend.
As you go
anime.
to sleep, snuggled in your bed. You know?
Well, I mean, to be honest, if I'm gonna go to sleep, I'm gonna go to sleep. If I'm gonna watch anime, I'll sit upright and actually
With
enjoy the anime.
respect.
Yeah, yo, put respect on that name.
Yeah.
On that anime at least.
Yeah, I appreciate
And yeah, so I'm probably gonna go do that. Maybe I'll grab a bite to eat or something, make myself a sandwich or something.
it. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so that's what I'm probably gonna do later this evening. Again, guys, if there's any anime recommendations or manga recommendations that you think that would interest us or you want us to tackle and talk about, please let us know. Communicate that
Via
to us.
voice message,
Voice message or email,
or
right.
even on Twitter. Tag us on Twitter.
Right.
On Life Tech and Sunday.
And our good friend Marcos will definitely get at you and talk
Not
to
in
you.
a bad way. I'll
No,
communicate.
yeah, he'll get back to you and you can start a dialogue there, and then we can talk about it on the podcast. Marcos, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I'd just like to say that, stay frosty, stay safe, and have a good evening or good day. Whenever you're listening to this podcast, stay frosty. This is Marcos signing out.
All right, guys. And as for me, I would like to say thank you once again. Definitely looking forward to breaking bread and talking about all the other things, Life Tech and Sundry, on the next podcast.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
To all our listeners, we have a coffee page and PayPal.me. If you guys want to,
Support.
support, leave a tip, and all those things. It's a work in progress, but any is appreciated. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Again, guys, thank you. And we hope to do the podcast again soon. All right, guys. This is Alan signing out.
Marcos signing out once again. Peace.
Hi there. Thank you for tuning into the LTS podcast. All the notes and more can be found in the description. By the way, we have a social media page where content is posted regularly. Feel free to reach out at us through there or via email. Both are found in the description. When you support the show, we have a merch store where you can buy an item that you like. If buying merch is not your thing and you just want to support the show directly, we also have links to those too, if you'd like. Thank you. Also, every comment is really appreciated. Credits in the description as well. Peace.